Strictly's roll out onto the backstretch for their main event of the evening. 15 laps the distance. Safety crew cleans up the debris from the spin in the late model Sportsman Consi. We'll get the track ready to go for the main event for the Strickleys as they continue to roll out behind the Bill McBride Chevrolet pace car. Here's your starting lineup. Starting on the pole, driving car number 31, it's the Beaver Farnsworth. Outside, driving car number 6, Dan Ray. Row number 2 on the inside, the 19 of Jason Bonnet, and on the outside, the 10 of Roger LeBounty. Row 3 on the inside, Louis Bonnell in car number 13. Outside in car number 3, Mark Bonnell. Row 4 inside, the 88 of Jeff Marshall, and on the outside, the 17 of Don Bushy. Fifth row, the 9th starting spot, goes to car number 72 for Rich Agony. And on the outside, Lee Ray starts 10th in car number 1. 5. Row 6 inside, car number 5, Jim Webb. And on the outside, the 48 for John Hayes. 7th row on the inside, it's the 55 of Craig Bushy. Outside, the 00 of Bernie Blair. 8th row. Row number 8 on the inside, the 68 for Kerry Longley. And on the outside, I believe that's the 18 for John Winterbottom. Row number 9 on the inside, in car number 4, Rich Agony Sr. And on the outside, the 15 of Todd Thu. Row 10 goes car number 64. That's Dale Terry. And on the outside, the 66 of Dean Rule. 11th row on the inside, the 24 of Greg Walcott. And on the outside, the 76 of Mike Wells. 12 rows back, the 22 of Chick Bissett. And we come back to the 69 car of Don Franklin, the 25 of Pat Cagle, Steve Benoit in the 14, the 7 for Mike Green, and shotgun the 65 of Mike Terry. So that's your field. Hold on to your hats. The Strickleys get wild at Airborne every Saturday night, and they're going to do it one more time. 15 laps. Here they come. Don't say we didn't warn you. Oh, now it's 10. Green is out. Ray on the outside, the Beaver on the inside. And Dan Ray will take the lead up the backstretch. Beaver Farnsworth is second. He drops back a spot as Roger LeBounty moves up. Caution flag is out. We have got a trail of fluid everywhere and a mess at the top of turn 4. Well, you can't say we didn't warn you. The Strictly Street main event is not for the faint of heart. We have got fluid all over the front stretch, and it'll be a complete restart. And we're ready to go. Beaver Farnsworth, Dan Ray set the pace, 31-6. And it's a slow pace off turn 4. Green is out. And here they come, 3 and 4 wide into the first and second turn as they race it up the back stretch. Beaver Farnsworth is your leader. Outside, it's Ray in the 6. Bonnet and LaBounty right there in row 2. They're all together as they come off turn 4. Everybody makes it through lap number 1, and we've still got a side-by-side battle for the top spot. Now powering up on the outside, it's Dan Ray in the 6. He takes the lead. LaBounty follows him on the outside, takes second. Beaver drifts high. That opens the door on the inside for Jason Bonnet to come through. 3 wide off the turn. Look out. Bushy and Farnsworth get together. It looked like the 31 car on the beam did not want a turn coming off turn 4. Farnsworth refires his car and will stay green flag racing. Dan Ray is your leader. Lieutenant of LaBounty is second. Bonnet's third. Mark Bonnell fourth. Louis Bonnell fifth. Jim Webb sixth. Bernie Blair is seventh. Top 3 cars have separated themselves from the great battle for the 4th spot. Now they're going to end up working their way through the lap car of Beaver Farnsworth. That car still does not want to handle coming off turn 4. Farnsworth drifts high again off turn 2. And the leaders will battle through on the inside. Black flag on the 4 car. Rich Agony Sr. back to the garage area. Trouble on the right front of that automobile. Bernie's now 4th. Bernie Blair up to the 4th spot in the 00. 3 wide action up the backstretch in the battle for 6th. Bushy grabs onto that. 7 laps down in the main event for the Strictly Street Division. Dan Ray is led from lap number 2 on. He's trying to hold off Roger LaBounty and Jason Bonnet. Bernie Blair about 10, now 12 car lengths back in the 00. Now more lap traffic ahead for the leaders. Ray in the 6 still holds on. LaBounty right on the back bumper and Bonnet right on his back bumper. 5 laps remain as 10 are in the book. And Bernie Blair has closed the gap down to about 6 car lengths. Blair is 4th and still closing in. Trouble on the backstretch. Louis Bonnell spins the 13 car, and he gets it refired. But what a battle for the lead. Outside, it's Ray. Inside, LaBounty. Side by side into turn 3. Lap car of Todd Dew ahead of him. Sneaking through on the inside, it's LaBounty. He grabs the lead. Roger LaBounty grabs the lead on the inside. Jason Bonnet is second. Bernie Blair is third. Dan Ray back to 4th. Oh, he gets tagged from behind, and he spins. Two laps to go. We've got a mess in turn 4. Both cars trying to refire. It won't happen. Caution flag is out. Caution flag on the speedway with 2 laps remaining. And up front, it's the 10 of Roger LaBounty, the 19 of Jason Bonnet, and Bernie Blair in the 00 is now third. Two remain. And Roger LaBounty is headed back to the garage area with his number 10 overheating. It will not last the night. And that means the new front row is Jason Bonnet in the 19 and Bernie Blair in the 00. And we're ready to go. 2 laps to decide it. Bonnet on the inside, Blair on the outside. Here they come. Off turn 4, green is out. Bonnet holds on to that top spot. Blair second on the outside. Craig Bushy third. 3 wide on the outside. It's Kerry Longley in the 68. This time by white flag is out. Jason Bonnet, your leader, opens up on Bernie. Bonnet by 4. Now 3 as Blair closes in on the turn. Will he have enough? Here they come. Off turn 4. Down the stretch to the checkered. Your winner is Jason Bonnet. Second spot goes to Bernie Blair. Craig Bushy comes home third. John Hayes will get 4th. And the 5th spot goes to the 22 of Chick Bissett. Jason Bonnet gets the checkered flags. He'll take his victory lap. Main event winner in the strictly straight division.
B feature for the late model sportsman division. 12 cars will qualify. The top 6 cars will get their handicapped assignment for the Eaglefield Ford Spring Green. And then positions 7 through 12 will start at the rear of the field. So you want to finish in the top 6 in this late model sportsman B feature, because if you do, you get your handicapped spot for the main event. Positions 7 through 12 will start at the rear. Here's the field in this late model sportsman B feature. Starting on the pole in the 04, it's Greg Lyman, and outside Lyman in car number 20, Kendall Lejean. Inside row number 2, third starting spot from Island Pond, Vermont, it's Derek Ming. And outside Ming in car number 61 from Plattsburgh, Robin Wood. Back to row number 3 on the inside in car number 42, fifth starting spot from Alberg, Vermont, it's Tony Poisson. And outside Poisson in car number 17 from Plattsburgh, Bucko Branham. Back to row number 4 on the inside, seventh starting spot from Plattsburgh in car number 79, it's Bill Fountain. And outside Fountain in car number 68 from Groton, Vermont, Jim Silly. Fifth row on the inside, ninth starting spot goes to the 01 from Heinsberg, Vermont. It's Gary Cunningham. And outside Cunningham in car number 50, Peter Mumford. Sixth row on the inside in car number 18 from Shelburne, it's Jamie Fisher. And outside Fisher in car number 21, Jimmy Young. Todd Brunell grids next in car number 95, and outside Brunell in the 2, it's Tracy Belrose, and she is out of Gorham, New Hampshire. Next on the grid, in the 0 from Essex Junction, Vermont, it's the Hammer Mark Barnier. And outside Barnier in the 29 from Moores Forks, New York, it's Mark Lamberton. And shotgun on the field in the 92, it's Chad Wheeler. 12 cars qualify, the rest go home. Here they come, green flag is out. Kendall Lejean drives it hard into 2. 3 wide down the back stretch. Here comes Bucko Branham. Branham looks to the outside of Derek Ming for third. Battle at the front. It's Lyman on the inside. Kendall Lejean on the outside. It's Greg Lyman at the stripe. "17 cars started this one. 12 cars will advance to the Eaglefield Ford Spring Green. 5 cars to go home. Greg Lyman leads. Bucko Branham's up to second on the inside. Third is Kendall Lejeune. Robin Wood runs fourth. Fifth is Derek Ming on the inside. Sixth is Jim Silly in the 68. Seventh is Tony Poisson in the 42. Eighth is Bill Fountain in car number 79. Ninth is Peter Mumford on the outside. Now Mumford's going backwards. Ninth, Gary Cunningham. Jamie Fisher 10th. Mark Lamberton 11th. Jimmy Young 12th. Coming out of the rear of the field. Bucko Branham moves to the inside of Greg Lyman off of 2. Lyman slams the door down the backstretch. Lyman in the 04. Branham in the 17, running to turn number 4. Robin Wood is third. Kendall Lejeune is fourth in the 20. Derek Ming runs fifth. Look out, Mark Lamberton gets a tap. Lamberton goes around. Everybody avoids the spinning Mark Lamberton. Caution, flag is out. The hammer Mark Barnier also down to the infield in the 0, and that brings out the caution. Five laps complete in this late model Sportsman B feature. Again, the top 6 cars go into the field with their handicapped assignment. And positions 7 through 12 will start at the rear of the field in the Eaglefield Ford Spring Green. Greg Lyman is the race leader. Bucko Branham's been breathing down his neck in car number 17. He runs second. He'll restart outside row number 1. Robin Wood with a good run. In the 61, he's third. Kendall Lejeune is fourth in car number 20. Jim Silly is fifth in the 68. And Derek Ming is sixth in car number 31. Those top 6 cars would move into the Eaglefield Ford Spring Green, all with their handicap spots. Tony Poisson is 7th in the 42. Peter Mumford is 8th in car number 50. Scratch that. That's Bill Fountain outside row number 4. He's 8th in the 79. Then it's Gary Cunningham running 9th in the 01. Jamie Fisher is 10th in the 18. Jimmy Young 11th in the 21. And then it's Mumford in the 50. He is 12th. All right, here they come into turn number 4 and down the front stretch. The green flag is out. Keep an eye on Mark Barnier and Mark Lamberton as they come out of the rear of the field trying to get to the top 12. Field bunches up into 3. Tony Poisson goes around. Poisson loops the 42. Caution, flag is out. Tracy Belrose in the 2, also atop turn number 4. She has the car rolling. Tony Poisson still parked down on the inside of turn number 3. And runs second in the 17. Robin Wood third, Kendall Lejeune fourth, Jim Silly fifth in car 68. Derek Ming now 6th in car number 31. Bill Fountain is 7th in car number 79. Gary Cunningham is 8th in the 01. Jamie Fisher 9th in the 18. Jimmy Young 10th in car number 21. Peter Mumford is 11th in car number 50. And Mark Lamberton is 12th in car number 29. And it's Todd Brunell, Mark Barnier, Tracy Belrose, and Tony Poisson. Here they come, off of 4. Green is out. Bucko Branham with a good run off of 2 down the backstretch. He's got the nose in front. drives it hard into 3. Branham looks for the lead. Into turn number 4 on the outside. Here comes Bucko Branham right to the wall. Greg Lyman fights back on the inside in the 0-4. Branham driving it hard down the backstretch. Lyman sticks the car back in front. Branham fights back into 3. Robin Woods right there in the 3rd spot. Branham drifts high. Here comes Wood to the inside. Couple of Plattsburgh drivers run 2nd and 3rd. Robin Wood has the nose up for 2nd. Bucko Branham runs 3rd. Jim Silly is 4th. Bill Fountain is up to 5th. 6th is Jamie Fisher. Derek Ming 7th. Kendall Lejean 8th. Gary Cunningham is 9th. Jimmy Young is 10th. Mark Lamberton 11th. Peter Mumford 12th. Down the backstretch, Robin Wood with a move to the inside of Greg Lyman for the lead. Your new race leader is Robin Wood in a 61. Robin Wood off a 2 down the backstretch. Greg Lyman 2nd. Jim Silly 3rd. Here comes Billy Fountain. Fountain and Branham. Have we seen that battle before? Side by side for 4th as we're halfway. We got a spin up at 3 and 4. Mark Lamberton all torn up on the 29. Sparks from the front of the 29 as it looks as though he perhaps has broken the front axle on car number 29. Robin Wood leads Greg Lyman 2nd in the 0-4. Jim Silly runs 3rd in the 68. Bucko Branham is 4th in the 17. Bill Fountain runs 5th in car number 79. Jamie Fisher is 6th in the 18. Derek Ming runs 7th in car number 31. Then it's Kendall Lejean who is 8th in car number 20. Jimmy Young is 9th in the 21. And outside Young in the 50, it's Peter Mumford. He's 10th. The Hammer Mark Barnier runs 11th, and Tony Poissant runs 12th. Remember, top 12 to the main event. Here they come, off of 4. Green flag is out. Wood leads them off of 2 down the backstretch. Bucko Branham moves to the inside of Greg Lyman. Down the backstretch into 3. Wood has the lead. Lyman and Branham battle for the 2nd spot right behind. Branham hangs on to 2nd. Lyman will try to cut the car down into the 3rd spot. Jamie Fisher's right there. He runs 4th. Jim Silly back to 5th. Bill Fountain runs 6th. Kendall Lejean is 7th. Derek Ming 8th. Peter Mumford runs 9th. Jimmy Young is 10th. The Hammer Mark Barnier 11th. 12th is Tony Poissant. Tracy Belrose runs 13th. Here comes Gary Cunningham to the inside of Belrose for the 13th spot. Touch at the front. Jamie Fisher moves to the inside of Bucko Branham. Branham still has a qualified car. He drives it hard into 3. Little tit for tat as they race off of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Robin Wood starts to pull away in the 61. He's opening up to 7 car lengths over Jamie Fisher. Jim Silly drifts high into 3. Here comes Bill Fountain to the inside. Fountain wants 5th. 5 to go. Bill Fountain up to the 5th spot. Off a 2 down the backstretch. Jim Silly back to 6th. Kendall Lejean runs 7th. 8th is Derek Ming. Peter Mumford 9th. Jimmy Young 10th. 11th Mark Barnier. Gary Cunningham is 12th. Gary Cunningham up to the 12th spot. Tony Poissant going backwards in a 42. Off of turn number 4. It's Wood, Fisher, Branham, Lyman, Fountain, Silly. Top 6 cars will be handicapped. And right now, Jim Silly runs into 6th spot. Kendall Lejean is 7th, 2 to go. Robin Wood by 4 car lengths over Jamie Fisher. Fisher has closed the distance, but I don't think he's got enough to run down Robin Wood in the 61 with a white flag out. Down the backstretch, final time for Robin Wood into 3. Drives it smoothly into 4. Down the front stretch, checkered flag for Robin Wood. Jamie Fisher 2nd. 3rd, Bucko Branham. Live at 4th. South at 5th. Silly 6th. Lejean 7th. Derek Ming 8th. 9th to Peter Mumford. 10th to Jimmy Young. 11th, Mark Barnier. And 12th to Gary Cunningham in the 0-1. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice ovation for
Ron in the semi. Get all that up to a back-to-back Triple Crown. We should know in about 15 minutes.
All right, here's the field for the Flying Tiger main event of the evening. 25 laps the distance, starting on the pole from Plattsburgh. In car number 68, it's Kevin Sorrell. Outside Sorrell, in car number 8 from Moores, New York, it's Jim McComb. Row number 2 on the inside, in car number 34 from Plattsburgh, it's Jerry Winch. And outside Winch in car number 82 from Peru, New York, Toby Ebersol. Back to row number 3 on the inside, 5th starting spot from Ellenburg, New York, in car number 06, it's Francis McNeil. And outside McNeil in the 81 from Bakersfield, Vermont, Dan Marcotte. Back to row number 4 on the inside, 7th starting spot to car number 39 from Milton, Vermont, it's Bill Sawyer. And outside Sawyer in the 45 from Burlington, Vermont, John Langlois. 5th row on the inside, 9th starting spot to car number 75 from Highgate Center, Vermont, it's Sparky LePan. And outside LePan starting 10th from St. Albans, Vermont, Tabor Gagne. 6th row on the inside, 11th starting spot from Shelburne, Vermont, it's car number 24 for Steve Fisher. And outside Fisher from Underhill, Vermont, it's Berserko Becker in car number 25. Starting 13th on the grid in car number 61 from Fairfield, Vermont, it's Dave Wilcox. And outside Wilcox in car number 95 from Plattsburgh, George White. Next on the grid in car number 71, it's Wild Bill Barcombe out of Burlington. And outside Barcombe in car number 20 from Lake Placid, Brian Vassar. Starting 17th in car number 19 from Moores, New York, it's Jamie Bigor. And outside Bigor, starting 18th in car number 35, it's Mark Germain, and he's out of Burlington. Next on the grid in car number 42 from Milton, Vermont, it's Dave Warren. Outside Warren in car number 50 is Jay Webb. Webb also from Milton, Vermont. And shotgun on the field to car number 4 from Waterbury, Vermont, Doug Murphy. 21 cars to go 25 laps. Here they come. Green flag is out. Kevin Sorrell leads them off of 2 down the backstretch. Keep an eye on Sparky. If they can box him in a little bit, then maybe somebody else will have a chance. And that's what they got him right now. Sorrell leads it off of turn number 4. Jerry Winch up to 2nd. Here comes Toby Ebersol in the 82. Ebersol 3rd on the inside. Jim McComb back to 4th in the 8. Bill Sawyer runs into 5th spot in car number 39. 6th is John Langlois. Here comes Sparky. LePan runs 7th, right behind John Langlois. LePan looks to the outside of Langlois as they run into 3. Sawyer with a peek to the inside of Toby Ebersol for 3rd as Kevin Sorrell continues to show the way. Berserko Becker went for a ride atop turn 3. He rejoins at the rear of the field. Sorrell and Winch battling at the front. It's Sorrell on the inside, Winch on the outside. Here they come. It's Langlois with a move up through the inside as well. Jerry Winch sideways off a 2. Bill Sawyer running to the outside of Winch, had a tap. Winch was able to collect it, keep it straight, and hang on to the second spot. Sawyer runs third. Ebersol runs fourth. Fifth is John Langlois. Jim McComb continues to run on the outside. Sparky LePan runs behind the 61 of Wilcox. He now takes to the outside as they run down the backstretch. Sorrell leads. Winch is second. Sawyer third. Ebersol fourth. Langlois fifth. Sixth is Fisher. Seventh McComb. Eighth is Wilcox. LePan ninth. 10th is Tabor Gagne. Bill Barcombe 11th. Jamie Begor 12th. Dave Warren 13th. And 14th is George White. Jerry Winch back to the outside. Here comes Bill Sawyer. Sawyer's going to make it a three-way run for the top spot. Sorrell, Winch, Sawyer. Here comes Jerry to the outside as they run into turn number 4. Drives it hard, drifts high. Sorrell back on the inside. Jerry Winch leads it. Jerry Winch opens it up to 4 car lengths. Bill Sawyer's going to try the outside of Sorrell now as they run into 3. Jerry Winch, your leader. Bill Sawyer in hot pursuit in the 39. And here comes LePan on the outside. Off a 2, down the backstretch. Winch, Sawyer, Sorrell, Ebersol, side by side for 5th. Langlois on the inside, LePan on the outside. LePan's got 5th. He wants 4th to the outside of Toby Ebersol. Down the backstretch, Jerry Winch leads by 5 car lengths over Bill Sawyer. Sawyer closes into 3 and 4. Here comes Sparky LePan. LePan is up to 4th, working around the outside of Kevin Sorrell for 3rd. Sparky LePan has the 3rd spot. 11 laps are complete. Does he have enough time to run him down? I think so. Winch the leader. Sawyer 2nd. LePan 3rd. Jerry Winch spins the 34. Bill Sawyer into the lead. Winch parked on the inside. Gets it rolling. Will stay under green. This time by it's halfway. Bill Sawyer and Sparky LePan. Sawyer leads. LePan runs 2nd. Sorrell is 3rd. Good run for Dave Wilcox. Wilcox is 4th in the 61. 5th is Steve Fisher in the 24. 6th, Toby Ebersol. Tabor Gagne 7th. Steve Fisher is 8th. Make that John Langlois 8th. John Langlois runs 8th. Bill Barcombe 9th. And Jamie Begor rounds out the top 10 with 10 to go. Sparks from underneath the Fisher 24. Down the backstretch. Sparky LePan and Bill Sawyer are still at the front. Sawyer the leader in the 39. LePan runs 2nd in the 75. Sparks continue from the 24 of Steve Fisher. Down the backstretch. Tabor Gagne runs right behind. Sparky LePan has closed the distance to 1 car length. Make it a half car length. Sawyer and LePan at the front. Black flag is out. Who's it for? It's for Steve Fisher. Black flag for the Fisher 24. The sparks coming from the right rear of that vehicle. Sparky LePan and Bill Sawyer do battle at the front. Sawyer leads. LePan is second in the 75. Wilcox runs third in the 61. Fourth is Gagne. Fifth is John Langlois. Sixth is Berserko Becker. Kevin Sorrell 7th. Toby Eversole 8th. Bill Barcombe is 9th. Jamie Begor 10th. Sawyer works his way underneath the lap car of Dan Marcotte in the 81. Down the front stretch. He's still got Sparky LePan right on his tail. Sawyer drives it hard into 2. Down the back stretch. Sawyer has been able to hold off LePan to this point as they run off a 4. LePan looks to the outside. Into turn number 3. Mike Weiler about to show him. 2 laps remain for the leaders. Bill Sawyer and Sparky LePan, 2 to go.
They'll come on the lap car of Francis McNeil of the 06. Sawyer gets by. Now LePan on the outside. They're about on even terms as they race into turn 4. White flag, this time by from Mike Wilder. Sawyer trying to hold on. LePan doing everything he can to get drive on the outside. Bill Sawyer, can he last for half a lap? We talked about fantastic finishes. We've got another one. Sawyer on the inside. LePan on the outside. Side by side. Down the stretch. Sawyer wins it. Bill Sawyer holds on and wins the Flying Tiger main event. Sawyer holds off the charge from Sparky LePan, and they did it again. Fantastic finishes becoming the norm here in the main events at Airborne. While Bill Sawyer, the driver out of Milton, Vermont, in car number 39, picks up the checkered flag. Ready for the main event. The 99 lap Englefield Ford Spring Green. Here's the starting lineup. Starting on the pole, driving car number 75, it's Peter Fecto. Outside, row number 1 in car number 7, Eric Williams. Row number 2 on the inside in car number 8, Chris Machad. And on the outside in car number 13, it's Rich Lowry. Row number 3 inside, it's the 53 of Chuck Beatty. And on the outside, from all the way over in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, Kenny Dufour in the 60. Row number 4 on the inside, Billy Marsh in the 33, and Billy Herring outside in the 09. Jim Silly starts 9th in the 68. He is flanked by the 45 of Brian Hoare. The 01 of Pat LaPearl starts 11th, and on the outside, the 61 of Robin Wood. 12th spot goes, the 13th rather, the 71 of Chris Fisher. Joey LeCaire will start 14th in car number 15. Next in line, the 15th starting position is David Whitcomb in the 25, and outside of him will be Phil Scott in the 14. Row number 9, inside, the 76 of Steve Renadette, outside Chris Lautenschatz in the 03. 10th row, it's the 04 of Greg Lyman, and the 6 of Fast Freddie Lagoy. 11 rows back, the 17 of Bucko Branham, and outside Wild Bill Fountain in the 79. 12 rows back, it's the 20 of Kendall Lejeune and the 0 of Mark Barnier. Next in line, Gary Cunningham in the 01. Outside, the 42 of Tony Poisson. 14th row, the 18 of Steve Fisher. And on the outside, the 77 of Scott Dragon. Scott Mumford in the 50. Shotgun will be the 21 of Jimmy Young. That's the field as they line up and ready to go 99 laps in the Englefield Ford Spring Green. We want to thank our cameraman for tonight's episode of Motorsports Magazine, making his debut on the camera for us. JC, number 21, Jeremy Carpenter, Enduro Warrior and pride of Mariah Vikings football. He's our cameraman for Motorsports Magazine. Here to call the Englefield Ford Spring Green is Rod Knowles.
Field will pick up the pace. Get the temperatures up in their motors. And this should be a good one. Again, another hot lap. They'll pick up the pace. You got to figure Brian Hoare, starting outside row number 5, will be one of the cars to watch. In the Goss Dodge Avenger, car number 45. Vecto and Eric Williams will set the pace. Both guys were strong earlier this evening in their qualifiers. As Chief Starter Mike Wilder tells them, we're going racing next time by. Lights go down atop the Bill McBride Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
99 green flag laps.
As we're about to kick off 99 green flag laps of racing. The pace car ducks into the infield. Peter Fecto and Eric Williams on the front row. Fecto and Williams, slow pace into 3. Here they come into turn number 4. They pick up the pace down the front stretch. Green flag is out. We're racing in the 1999 Englefield Ford Spring Green. Peter Fecto leads it into turn number 3. Williams runs on the outside. Field bunches up as they run into the corners. Peter Fecto leads lap number 1. Fecto, Williams, Michaud, then it's Beatty and Dufour in the 60. They run in the top 5. Brian Hoare runs to the inside of Rich Lowry. They race for the 8th spot. Chuck Beatty with a peek to the inside of Chris Michaud down the backstretch. Michaud slams the door. Beatty backs out of it. Beatty right on that rear bumper of Chris Michaud for 3rd. Peter Mumford off the pace in the 50. He took it down to the infield and lost a lap early. Mumford in the 50 goes a lap down. Fecto and Williams run 1-2. They're nose to tail. Fecto leads. Williams runs 2nd. Michaud is 3rd. 4th is Beatty. Dufour is 5th. 6th is Herring. 7th is Brian Hoare. Rich Lowry is 8th. 9th on the grid is Robin Wood. 10th is Joey LeCaire. Bill Marsher is 11th. 12th is Chris Fisher. Sparks out of Jimmy Young's rear end into 21. Rich Lowry right up to the wall of the 13. Here comes Brian Hoare. Hoare to the inside of Billy Herring in the 45. Brian Hoare up to the 6th spot. Hoare on the move, appears to be the fastest car. Keep an eye on Phil Scott. Phil Scott in the 14, patient, running on the outside. He's right behind Jim Silly in the middle of the pack. Dave Whitcomb moves to the inside of Scott. Phil bunched up behind Bill Marcia in the 33. Marcia has lost the freight train to Joey LeCaire. He is some 10 car lengths behind LeCaire and appears to be slowing down the pack. Bechtel continues to lead. Williams runs second. Beatty third. Here comes Brian Hoare. Hoare out of the cannon on the outside of Chris Michaud for fourth. Brian Hoare getting it done on the outside. Looks to make a move around Chuck Beatty for the 3rd spot. Still 1-2 are Fecto and Williams, but Brian Hoare on the move. Brian Hoare takes to the outside of Chuck Beatty for 3rd. Hoare sticks the nose out in front of Beatty. He's got 3rd on the outside. Brian Hoare on his way to the front. Peter Fecto leads. 2nd is Eric Williams. Chuck Beatty 3rd. Hoare back on the outside up to 3rd. Chris Michaud runs 5th. Dufour is 6th. Herring 7th. 8th is Robin Wood. Joey LeCaire 9th. A car that's not making much progress right now is Chris Fisher in the 71. We got a big melee up in turn number 4. Greg Lyman, Kendall Lejeune, caution flag is out. Lyman up to speed, he'll stay on the lead lap, but Kendall Lejeune's going to go down a lap. Well, Rick, there's no doubt early on who the... All right, 16 laps are complete. Time for another restart. Fecto and Williams bringing them down to the stripe. Here they come. War Racing. Fecto leads them down a backstretch. Side by side battle for 2nd. Hoare on the inside. He has the nose out in front. Brian Hoare, Eric Williams do battle for 2nd. Eric Williams fighting back on the outside. Williams doesn't want to give the spot up. Brian Hoare continues to move on the inside, trying to move underneath Williams. Brian Hoare and Eric Williams side by side. Tip your cap to Eric Williams. Not giving up, working the outside. Still even with Brian Hoare. Fecto leads. Williams approaches on the outside. Here comes Eric Williams in the 7. Brian Hoare's right there. So is Chuck Beatty. Williams on the outside. Eric Williams, not a good run off of 2. Loses some space. Fights back on the outside. Bechtel and Williams, side by side off of 4. Down to the stripe. Here they come. Williams has the lead. Again, it's a side-by-side battle. Rich Lowry into the infield. Bechtel has the nose back out in front. Williams gets a good run into 3 and 4. Has the car set up to run off of 4. Here they come back to the stripe. It's Bechtel. Side by side again into 3. Williams and Bechtel. Here they come off of 4. Down to the stripe. Williams has the lead. Seesaw battle. 3 wide down the backstretch. Here comes Brian Orr. Brian Orr to the inside. Bechtel closes the door. Holy cow. Bechtel loose. Williams goes around. Everybody spins. Hard spot back. Chris Michaud. Kenny Dupler into the wall. Caution flag is out.
Caution flag for the mess at the top of the front stretch. Many cars involved. Eric Williams too hot into turn 4, lost it. Almost collected Brian Hoare, almost collected Peter Fecto. Tough break for the 8 car of Chris Michaud. The 60 car of Kenny Dufour. He had a solid top 10 run going. He ends up backwards into the front stretch wall. Joey LeCaire with front end damage on his car. The right front is flat on the 15 car. Everybody else seems to make it through relatively unharmed. So caution flag out on lap 25 in the Englefield Ford Spring Green.
10-0. Lights are down atop the Bill McBride Chevrolet pace car. We'll go back to green flag racing next time by. 25 complete. 74 to go. Rich Lowry and car number 13 will rejoin at the rear of the field. And now the new man on the right shoulder of Peter Fecto is Brian Hoare. Here they come. Off of turn number 4. Down to the stripe. Green is out. Side by side off of 2. Down the backstretch. Fecto on the inside. Brian Hoare on the outside. Hoare with the nose out in front. Fecto off of 4. Back to the stripe. Brian Hoare the leader. Fecto drifts high off of 2. Chuck Beatty takes a peek to the inside. Peter Fecto drives it hard into 3. Jimmy Young has taken his car into the pits. Off of 4, down to the stripe, Brian Hoare again. Brian Hoare with a pass on the outside. He is the new race leader. Does anybody have anything for Brian Hoare? He's up to the top spot. Phil Scott has worked his way into 5th. Scott might have something for Hoare. He runs 5th. Brian Hoare leads. Peter Fecto is 2nd. 3rd is Chuck Beatty. 4th, Steve Renadette. Here comes Scott. Scott to the outside of Renadette for the 4th spot. Steve Renadette on the inside. Phil Scott on the outside. Down to the stripe. Brian Hoare by a car length over Peter Fecto into 75. We got a spin up in 2. Caution, flag is out. Spin in turn number 2. Fluid down as well.
Fluid all over the racetrack out of the 79 car of Wild Bill Fountain. Fountain takes the 79 back to the garage area. It's fortunate there was no real damage that occurred after the water dropped onto the track off of the Fountain car. A couple of cars spun around, but no damage, no contact. That caution flag comes out on lap 30 of the Englefield Ford 99 lap Spring Green.
Back to green flag racing. With 30 laps in the books, Brian Hoare and Peter Fecto to bring him down to the stripe. And you can bet Chuck Beatty's going to try to follow Brian Hoare right through into that second spot. And Fecto's got a heavy hitter running right behind him, and Phil Scott. Scott's going to try to push him through on the outside. Here they come. Off of turn number 4, and we're racing. Down the backstretch, Brian Hoare flies in the lead. Here comes Chuck Beatty. Beatty through on the inside. He's got the nose up for second. Fecto back to third. Here comes Steve Renan in the 76, and Dave Whitcomb. Dave Whitcomb in car number 25. Moved to the inside of Peter Fecto. He looks for fourth. Fecto on the outside has fourth. Whitcomb is fifth. Here comes Dave Whitcomb up for the fourth spot. Not a good restart at all for Phil Scott. Scott was fourth on the restart. He's dropped all the way back to eighth. Fred Lagoy runs sixth. Here comes Chris Fisher. Fisher on the outside of Lagoy. Brian Hoare, 2 car lengths to Chuck Beatty. Then it's Steve Renan at third. Dave Whitcomb fourth. 2 car lengths back to the 75 for Peter Fecto. Fred Lagoy runs in the 6th spot. 7th is Phil Scott. 8th is Chris Fisher. 9th is Bucko Branham. Robin Wood rounds out the top 10. Scott Dragon 11th. Tony Poisson off the pace, and the black flag for Poisson. Sparks underneath the Poisson car, and he'll head back to the pit area. Good battle between Mark Barnier and Patrick LaPearl. Barnier to the inside of LaPearl down the backstretch. LaPearl fights back on the outside. They race for spots 12 and 13. Here comes Scott Dragon. Dragon looks to the inside of Robin Wood for 10th. Scott Dragon, Robin Wood. Dragon has 10th. Wood back to 11th. Brian Hoare leads. Chuck Beatty is second. Third, Steve Renadet. Fourth is Dave Whitcomb. Fifth is Peter Fecto. Fred Lagoy is sixth. Phil Scott 7th, Chris Fisher 8th, Robin, make that Bucko Branham 9th, and 10th is Scott Dragon. Kenny Newport comes back out in car number 60. He's several laps down. 41 laps are complete. Brian Hoare by 2 car lengths over Chuck Beatty. Steve Renan at third, Dave Whitcomb fourth. Here's Rick.
At the front, it's the Goss Dodge of Brian Hoare, but he cannot pull it away from Chuck Beatty. Beatty is strong, second in the 53. Caution flag is out. We've got cars spinning in turn 2. Obviously some fluid on the racetrack. Rich Lowry's 13 was involved, as was the second place car of Chuck Beatty and the 76 of Steve Renadet. So we'll have to wait and see if those second and third place cars get their spots back, as the caution was out before those cars were involved in the incident. 43 laps in the book in the Englefield Ford Spring Green. Brian Hoare is your leader. Well, now they had it right the first time. Lagoy is not a lap down.
That's right.
So they had it right the first time. Lagoy second, Fecto third, Scott fourth, Fisher fifth, Branham sixth. We're ready to go. Lights off atop the Bill McBride pace car, and we're going to go green this time by. 43 down, 56 remain in the Englefield Ford Spring Green of 1999. Phil picks up the pace off turn 4. We're under green. Brian Hoare, Fred Lagoy, Peter Fecto, and Chris Fisher. The battle is on for the 4th spot as Phil Scott caught on the outside. He'll drop back a spot. Scott Dragon moves up on the inside. He looks to take over 5th. While Brian Hoare and Fred Lagoy pull away, the action has gotten heavy in the middle of the pack. Fisher spins the 18 car. That car is refired and will stay green. Up front, Brian Hoare and Fred Lagoy. They pull away from what is now a 3rd place battle between Peter Fecto in the 75, the 77 of Scott Dragon. And on the outside, moving up strong, it's Chris Fisher in the 71. Pat LaPearl is 6th. 7th, Phil Scott. 8th, Marco Branham. 9th, the 61 of Robin Wood. Mark Barnier is 10th. Chris Loutenshot's 11th. Gary Cunningham 12th. 13th spot goes to Joey LeCaire. 14th, Steve Renadat. And Eric Williams is up to 15th. Halfway that time by. 50 down, 49 remain in the Englefield Ford Spring Green. We've got trouble in turn number 1. Billy Herring spins the 09 along with Mark Barnier. That'll bring out another caution. So the caution flag comes out on lap number 50. Just past the halfway point in the Englefield Ford Spring Green. And up front, it's still Brian Hoare and Fred Lagoy. We're ready to go green. 50 down, 49 remain. Your front row, Brian Hoare and fast Fred Lagoy. Row number 2. It's the 75 of Pete Fecto, the 71 of Chris Fisher. Row number 3, Pat LaPearl of the 00. And on the outside, it's the 77 of Scotty Dragon. Phil Scott, Bucko Branham, row 4. Here they come. They pick it up off turn 4. We're back to green. Lagoy drops down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll settle in and hold on to that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, it's a side-by-side battle for 3rd. Fecto in 75 and Fisher in 71. Fecto now opens up a bit, and he'll settle into 3rd. Pat LaPearl tries to poke his nose underneath Fisher and take over the 4th spot. Starts to open up a little bit of distance on Fred Lagoy in car number 6. Now they start to rally in and charge up on Fred Lagoy. Outside Fisher. Inside in 75 of Victor. Pat LaPearl is right there in the 01. Phil Scott in the 14 runs in the 6th spot. Scotty Dragon to 7th. Robin Wood is up to 8th. 9th is Joey LeCaire. And Gary Cunningham has moved into the top 10. This time by, they'll complete lap number 57. There'll be 42 to go. Right now, the major battle is for the 4th spot, with LaPearl on the inside and Fisher on the outside. Now LaPearl looks underneath the 75 of Vecto, but he's got to back off going into 3. Here comes Fisher once again on the outside. Now the battle heats up for the 2nd spot. As Chris Fisher has decided it is time to go. He is right alongside Fred Lagoy. Lagoy with a half a car length advantage as they race into turn 3. Down, 35 remain. Turn into a regular Saturday night 35 lap shootout. Chuck Beatty in trouble in the 53 car. He takes his car through the infield. As now Pat LaPearl's off the face, and Gary Cunningham's into the backstretch wall. Cunningham hits the backstretch wall. And that'll bring out the caution flag on lap number 63. Gary Cunningham goes hard into the backstretch retaining wall. And that will bring out the caution flag with 36 laps remaining. Tough break for Cunningham, who was involved in a mishap a little bit earlier on. But he had worked his way back into the top 10. Cunningham had to get hard on the brakes to avoid running into the back end of Pat LaPearl and the other 0-1. In doing so, lost control of the automobile, went sideways into that backstretch wall. Word from the backstretch is that Cunningham's okay. But the caution flag is out. 63 laps into the Englefield Ford Spring Green.
Want me to do it again? I gotta sit. 65 laps are complete. 34 laps remain. Here they come off of turn number 4. Green is out. Ready to go Legoy into 6, looks to hang on a second. He'll settle it into the second spot. Chris Fisher into 71 drives it hard. Here comes Dragon. Dragon to the inside of Phil Scott for 4th. Chris Loudenshots goes around. Loudenshots spins. And he's hit by Rich Lowry in the 13. Caution, flag is out. It looked as though everybody was going to miss Chris Loudenshots in the 0-3. Rich Lowry, who was running at the rear of the field, got on the brakes. But he smacks Loudenshots right in the left rear. And the caution flag is back out on lap number 67.
That'll bring out the caution flag here in the Englefield Ford Spring Green. Rich Lowry and Chris Loudenshots get together. And that is about the 10th caution flag that Lowry has caused this evening. 67 down, 30 to remain in the Englefield Ford Spring Green.
Push that 77 to keep you going forward.
And Brian Hoare leads it. Fred Legoy runs second. And he managed to hold on to that spot on the last restart. Chris Fisher third, and how about Scott Dragon running in the 4th spot? Scott Dragon out of Milton, Vermont in the 77. Rookie driver in the late model sportsman division up to 4th. And Eric Williams back to 5th. Great run for Williams as well. Here they come. Green is out. Brian Hoare leads. Legoy again settles it into 2nd. Fisher runs 3rd. Eric Williams looks to the inside of Scott Dragon. Dragon trying to hang on to the 4th spot on the outside. Scott Dragon cuts it down. He's got 4th. Eric Williams 5th. Here comes Joe LeCaire. Joey LeCaire up to the 6th spot. Phil Scott 7th. Dave Whitcomb 8th. Patrick LaPearl 9th. 70 laps are complete. 29 to go for Brian Hoare. Through 2 car lengths back to Fred Legoy. Chris Fisher right on Legoy's rear bumper in 3rd. Dave Whitcomb with a move to the inside of Phil Scott. They race for the 7th spot off of 2. Whitcomb and Scott side by side into 3. Dave Whitcomb, who had to duck into the garage area after some cosmetic damage to the front. Whitcomb has come from the back of the pack, and he is up to 7th. And he's done that in about 30 laps. Brian Hoare continues to show the way. Fred Legoy, 3 car lengths now. Chris Fisher trying to find a way around Legoy. Nice and smooth for Brian Hoare, not abusing the car at all, and you got to wonder if he's even using it all. Hoare leads, Legoy 2nd, Fisher 3rd, Dragon 4th, Williams 5th, 6th to LeCaire, 7th Whitcomb, 8th Patrick LaPearl, and Phil Scott is 9th. Chris Loudenshots back on the pit road in the 0-3. 77 complete. Last time by it was 78 complete. As Brian Hoare brings them back down to the stripe, here comes Chris Fisher with a peek to the outside. Chris Fisher again looks to the outside of Fred Lagoy. Peter Fecto up atop turn number 4. He's parked. Will it bring out a caution? Fecto rolling once again in the 75. Gets down to the inside. Leaders work their way around. Here comes Fisher. Fisher to the inside of Fred Lagoy. Chris Fisher looking for second. Can he move around Jim Silly to left car? 3 wide off of 4. Scott Dragon to third. Holy cow, Scott Dragon is up to third. Brian Hoare, Chris Fisher, Scott Dragon, Fred Lagoy, Eric Williams, Joey LeCaire, Dave Whitcomb. Dragon with a peek to the inside of Chris Fisher. There was a touch. Fisher saved the car.
Brian Hoare pulls away from Chris Fisher in the 71. 15 laps remain. Scott Dragon now third. Fred Lagoy back to fourth. He got snookered behind the 75 of Peter Fecto, who had a tire going down. Got caught off the backstretch. And Barnier, the 0. Barnier refires his car and continues on. Brian Hoare 12 laps away from adding his name to the list of the Englefield Ford Spring Green winners. Chris Fisher trying to make it back-to-back. Now down to 11 laps, in which he's trying to catch the leader. Scott Dragon, an impressive run in the third spot, and an equally impressive Freddie Lagoy. Outstanding job for the Katyville driver, who is fourth. And what about Eric Williams? Eric was battling for the lead early on, involved in that spin in turn 4. Had to go to the back of the pack. He has now worked his way all the way up to 5th. This time by, there'll be 10 laps remaining. 10 to go for Brian Hoare. Now he'll have to work his way through the slower cars. Immediately in front, the 01 of Gary Cunningham and the 60 of Kenny Dufour. We'll see if that allows Chris Fisher to close in any. At least now those cars in front of Hoare get into single file. And that allows Brian to move by on the outside. 91 down, 8 to go. Brian Hoare, the Goss Dodge out of Colchester, Vermont, looks strong in the front, but he's got 7 laps to go to win the Englefield Ford Spring Green. Chris Fisher hoping for a caution that'll allow him to close the gap. Right now it does not look good for Chris Fisher to defend his title. Scott Dragon is third, Freddie Lagoy is fourth, Eric Williams fifth, Joey LeCaire is sixth, Dave Whitcomb seventh, Phil Scott is eighth, Pat LaPearl ninth, and I believe the 04 of Greg Lyman is your 10th place automobile. 5 to go for Brian Hoare. 94 of 99 complete. And he is opening up the gap. Now it's a battle for second as Scott Dragon looks inside the 71 of Chris Fisher. Slower traffic ahead. This should get interesting. Dragon and Fisher side by side for second. Gary Cunningham at Belmarsh, the slower cars ahead of that second place battle. This time Brian Horner will complete lap number 96. Fisher gets the jump on the outside. He will move into that second spot, but he's got Dragon right on his back bumper. 2 to go for Brian Hoare. Look out, Marcia gets drop kicked into the infield. Marcia spins the 33 car, and Dragon gets around and takes second. Scott Dragon is up to second. Chris Fisher third, Fred Lagoy fourth. White flag is out for Brian Hoare. Brian Hoare, one more lap, and he will be the 1999 Englefield Ford Spring Green winner. Scotty Dragon second. Chris Fisher is third. Fred Lagoy fourth. Here he comes, your winner, Brian Hoare, the 45. Scott Dragon comes home second in the 77. Third spot goes to Chris Fisher. Freddie Lagoy is fourth. Outstanding run from Eric Williams to get back up to the fifth spot. But what a job by Scott Dragon in the 77. The 21-year-old gets a second place finish in just his first running of the Englefield Ford Spring Green. And I'll bet you Bobby's pretty proud right now. A late model sportsman star born tonight at Airborne as Scott Dragon, just 21 years of age, gets home second. And how about Brian Hoare? He adds his name to the list. The Hanleys, the Cabanas, the Dragons as Englefield Ford Spring Green winners. And a great run by Freddie Lagoy. The Katyville driver comes home fourth. And how about that job that Hyde Park's Eric Williams did? Running at the top early on, had a spin in coming out of turn 4, worked his way back to a top 5 finish. Outstanding job for Eric tonight. So that's it. The Englefield Ford Spring Green goes to Brian Hoare.
Second place performance. He's just as happy as he would have been with the victory. Scotty Dragon gets the second. Chris Fisher goes with a battle with Dragon of last 10, 15 laps for the second spot. I didn't think Brian Hoare was Polish, but he's going to do it anyway in honor of Alan Kolecki. Everybody get out of the way. You don't know what's going